here today, our roles, what we do, and why we are here today falls under strengthening justice systems, because we are looking at what are the systems that are already in place and in existence to protect the most vulnerable. Who are the institutions whose mandate it is to protect those 500 million people who are vulnerable to trafficking, exploitation, and other forms of violence? How are people being protected, and how can we come together? How can we identify the gaps together, and how can we work to strengthen these gaps through capacity building mechanisms? The next pillar is rescue and restoration of victims. And so being able to directly identify those who are currently in harm's way, those who are currently being abused and exploited, and taking them safely out of those situations, ensuring they are able to be reintegrated back into community, grow, develop, and contribute to society as fulfilled members of the community. Bringing criminals to justice. And so here we are looking at perpetrator accountability. For those who have subjected young people, women or children to harm, exploitation, what do the laws of the land say? And how are we able to implement these laws of the land to ensure that there is a deterrent impact and more people are not encouraged to go into these situations, or more people are not encouraged to abuse and exploit others? I'm sure we'll all be agreeing that if there is a rule, and if you break the rule, there's supposed to be a consequence. If I break the rule and there is no consequence, what is my motivation to actually comply with that rule, right? I believe many of us have children or take care of nieces, nephews, and are exposed to children. And so what does it look like if you tell a child to not do something and they disobey?
International Justice Mission works with officers from social welfare, the Ghana Police Service, and the Office of the Attorney General to identify and deal with situations of child trafficking. And today's gathering brings together the leaders of the various institutions from the district and regional levels to also be able to share their perspectives when it comes to dealing with situations of trafficking and their views on the gaps and how to best address these gaps. So today, with the focus on multidisciplinary collaboration and interagency working and also trauma-informed care, these leaders will be equipped and empowered to be able to effect sustainable change when it comes to dealing with the issues of trafficking. When it comes to advice for the general public, it's really being aware and being conscious of what is going on around you. We've learned in the sessions today that when it comes to situations of trafficking, there isn't an obvious label or jacket that someone will come in and say that this is a situation of trafficking. But we really need to open up our eyes when it comes to situations that could be abusive, various situations. Maybe a child is not going to school, maybe a child is presenting differently or dressed differently. These are little things that we as a general public need to be aware of and open our eyes, because it could be giving us indications to something else. And also looping in and contacting Department of Social Welfare if we see such concerns or things that we may not be sure of, so that appropriate advice can be given and the right steps be taken. As it relates to collaboration, a key thing that we have seen in our work across various countries around the world is that sustainable care for victims of trafficking needs to be done in a holistic way. And so we need all agencies coming together and working collaboratively for us to be able to see sustainable change. When these systems come together, or these organizations come and work together, we are really able to see people who are able to get justice for their cases. We're able to see people trust the systems that are there to protect them and use it more. We are able to see survivors be treated in a dignified way, and long term it brings change to our communities and country.